You know the satisfaction you get when you feel that you have done something and now you can look at that and think, hey, look, I did that thing. Well, today we're going to be getting into that. And we're going to be actually looking at some specific, some general actions that you can take that are going to help you to feel better about the state of the planet. Because you are here because you want to know some actions to do. And I'm going to start with some small actions, but also give you ideas of larger actions. And at the end of this video, you'll definitely have a really clear idea of, okay, given my life circumstances, my time, my money, my commitment, my knowledge, here's something that I can do today that'll make a difference, or this weekend. Hi, if this is your first time tuning in, I'm Rachel Stravelli. I'm an inner wisdom teacher. I help people connect to the wisdom within and the wisdom of the natural world. Boop, boop. Got my plant over here. So I coach people one-to-one. I also work with people in small groups. There will be a link, not this week, but soon. By the time you watch this, it'll be there, to sign up for a small program I'm doing that's helping people to create and craft and do small actions to build our eco-literacy and help out the planet and help out ourselves. But for now, I want to tell you about what are small actions you can take to start getting motivated. Because I am sure that you're watching this because you think there's a lot going on with the planet. I feel a little bit overwhelmed. I feel a little bit hopeless. I feel a little bit helpless. And I want you to think about a time in your life where something was happening to someone that you know, and you felt a little bit hopeless and you knew they needed help. And one of the ways in which you felt like you were contributing and you felt helpful was you did something. So whether it was a friend having a baby and you brought over a meal or diapers, or you filled their dishwasher, maybe it was a friend whose loved one had died and you brought them some flowers or brownies, or you baked them a casserole. Maybe it was a coworker or a friend at school and you knew they were going through a hard time and you brought them your favorite kind of tea, or you picked them up a mug of hot cocoa or coffee that day. We love to help out other people around us, and it makes us feel good. It makes us feel like we have done something. And so today, what I'm helping you to get some new ideas about is not necessarily helping out the other people around us, but helping out our natural world, helping out the planet. Because you are feeling like there is something you could do, but you may not yet know what to do. Or you may think there's so many problems out there, I'm so overwhelmed, how do I even pick anything? So today I'm going to give you a range of ideas so you can start critically thinking what feels the best fit to me. Because one of the great things about taking small actions, or taking any action at all, is it actually works better if you do it consistently as opposed to like one time a year. For example, people who do their taxes. A lot of people I know, myself included, sometimes drag their feet about it. It doesn't have to happen all the time, and so you have to figure out a time to do it. It only comes up once a year. Whereas things that come up every week or every month or every day, we're often better about doing them because it's a part of our regular routine, it's a part of our habits. And so for whatever of the ideas of actions that you can take that I'm going to give you today, the idea is to find one that you believe is going to best fit with your actions and your existing habits, because then it'll be easier to do this more consistently. Also, another potential plus would be if you can find a way to do this with other people that you care about, loved ones that you have, then it kind of checks off two boxes of you get to be social and you get to do something positive for a cause that you care about. So that's extra bonus. Now, there are, as you have probably noticed, a lot of issues out there that impact the environment. There are local issues, regional issues, national, global. You know, climate change is a global issue. But in my region, we have issues of air pollution or water pollution, waste management in terms of trash. There are other issues of invasive plants, habitat destruction. various things. So what is important is for you to start thinking about what level do you want to get involved in. That might be one way to start thinking about this. For some people, it's much easier to think about what are my personal actions I can take, and let me just start making some small shifts, like a reusable water bottle or a reusable coffee mug or cloth bags. Or in my household, we do all of those, but we also have 2 hybrid cars because we use our cars almost every day. Therefore, I want to be using the car which is the kindest to the environment that I can use. You may be in a place where you take public transit, or you may think, well, I don't really have the money to buy a hybrid right now. What I would like you to think about is this, the point of me making this video with all of these ideas is to let you feel empowered and think, no matter what my budget, no matter what my time, no matter what my knowledge, I can make a change in action and impact based on where I am in the world right now. You know, because if you are just living paycheck to paycheck, it's probably not realistic to think about, oh, I wish I could get solar panels, or a hybrid, but I really can't. Well, then don't worry about that. Like, that's not even on your radar yet. So you're going to be listening for the things that I'm sharing that are the things that could fit with your current lifestyle that you could easily do. Because what is most important is for you to do something that feels like a good fit, that's within your comfort level, that's a small action that you can take and start taking it on a regular basis. So one idea, and this is an idea that does not suit my lifestyle, but I'm going to share it anyway, is you could get involved with direct action. And that could be a boycott, it could be a march, it could be a protest, it could be a teach-in. These are actions where you take physically yourself and you show up somewhere and you participate. And typically there's somebody else or groups who have organized it, and you can show up and participate. Now, as I said, in my 20s, I tried out direct action and I realized it wasn't really for me. And I don't have feelings of judgment or criticism towards myself, because I think, well, there's enough to be done. I don't have to do it all. Neither do you. The ideas that I'm sharing, my friend Ashley Cooper, who I'll link, I don't know if she has this image on her Facebook or her website, but I'll link to her below. So if you want to connect with her, she created a beautiful diagram of all the different ways that you can show up for action and for making a change. And some of these things, like direct action, are really visible. You can post it on Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook or wherever and be like, look at me, I'm so amazing, I went to the protest. But you know what? If that doesn't suit your lifestyle, if that doesn't suit your preferences, then don't worry about it. That might not be the one that works for you. However, if you have never done that type of thing, it's worth trying out to see, is this something that I want to do? Yes, it might be outside of your comfort level. However, there's a lot of things outside of your comfort level that you might actually enjoy. And so trying it out at least once or twice then gives you the information. Do I like this enough and feel that this is important enough to do it ongoing, or do I not? And then you make a choice. You could think, okay, direct action is not for me. What's next? Well, another way that you can get involved is looking at the traditional power structures that are out there. So government agencies, laws, bylaws, policies. There was a period of my life in which I investigated, I tried out, do I want to run for political office? I went to meetings, city council meetings, I attended other meetings about campaigning, and I looked into it for about 2 to 3 months. And similar to direct action, I found out, you know what, this isn't for me. I have small children. I don't want to be devoting that type of time to it. And so I chose not to do it. That, you know, if you run for office, that is in a way a whole lifestyle change. And yet, for me, I thought, I'm going to at least explore this option. And even though I didn't pursue it for myself, those who did run, who I met through those interactions, I donated to their campaigns, I shared on social media, I would send them encouraging texts or phone calls. I participated in phone banks. I call my local representatives. So, there's the running for office, which is like the most kind of extreme way of having an action for this topic, but there's also just you letting your actual representatives know how you feel about this, being informed about the laws. There's a woman in my local community, she follows all of the laws that are going on in South Carolina, and it's amazing. And I know that I can reach out to her and find out when there's a law going on that I might want to know more about. The next way that you could get involved is with either education or learning. Now, this is an area in which I am massively involved and have been for all of my life because it feels like a sweet spot for me. Now, this can be informal learning or formal learning. You can be helping others to develop skills or be learning those skills yourself. Another area that you could get involved with action is with healing or reconciliation. So there are people who do ceremonies, there are people who participate in or help organize dialogue so that the emotional pain and wounds and things that people have gone through the instances of this cause is something that they can be present to and help. Again, each one of these general areas that I'm going through is not going to be for everyone. And so as you're listening, you can think, okay, does that seem like something that I would care about? Do I like listening to other people? Do I like organizing? Because you could be the one who is helping facilitate the conversation. You could be listening to people one-on-one and caring about and reflecting back to them what you hear, or you could be the one helping organize these events. If you're artistically inclined, typically a lot of all three of these general areas that I've shared, they need people to make graphics, to make flyers, to distribute those flyers, to put them, make little images for Instagram and Facebook and all these other platforms. So that's an area to think about. There are grassroots and nonprofits. This is an area that I think a lot of us think of because they're around our areas. They are fundraising. The grassroots and nonprofits, they need volunteers, they need donations, they need people to be on the board typically. This is another area in which I am often involved. My business, actually, I donate 10% at this point to local nonprofits and one or two national ones who I feel very aligned with their causes. So the grassroots and the nonprofits, they engage with their communities and they find ways in which they can work for these causes at the grassroots level. That might be a way for you to be informed. And you might start with just looking in your local community or in your state or province, who are the nonprofits who are working on the causes that I care about? Maybe I'll sign up for their email list. There are a few who send me text updates when there's a reason for me to call my representative, or if they're doing a fundraiser, or if they're doing an auction and they need people to donate goods. So those are some of the ways to get involved. Many of these things that I have mentioned need organizers, need people to make connections, need people to either make phone calls or write emails or share. And so that if you're a natural connector, people person, you can host a potluck, you can host a party, you can get people involved in that way. Now, you might, after I've listed all of these things, think, I still don't really feel like any of those are how I'm going to fit in, Rachel. And then if that's the case, what you might want to do then is think, maybe you have a busy schedule or your time is such that you don't have a lot of time to be involved in these kind of outer things. And so then what you might want to do is look at your personal life and what are the personal actions that you can take. And this is where I feel like there's actually a lot out there about this in terms of, you can do a zero waste lifestyle, or at least aspire to it. You can go meatless once a week, or maybe you can try it for a whole week. You can, as I said, change cars. You can monitor your power usage. You can look at the products that you're buying. You can compost. You can start gardening. There's a lot of personal ways that you can make a change. Some of them may take more time or money than others, but I believe there's always a way to start where you are and start taking more action as you become more comfortable with it and as it becomes more of a lifestyle. I think that there are probably like 15 other ways that I haven't even mentioned. I was just trying to come up with some broad categories to start making you think of new ways to engage with this topic, because I deeply believe that for all of us to have a sense that we are making a difference and making a change, we all need to be taking action. There's a woman I know locally, she works with stream monitoring. So I think it's once a month, she goes and monitors the street. So she takes water samples from where she is, and those get sent somewhere else, and they look at the oxygen levels, maybe levels of pesticide, maybe levels of heavy metals. I don't know all the things they're looking at in there, but I know they're looking at pollution. So that's something. And I think she told me it takes 2 to 3 hours once a month. And then that's it. And then she's done. She thinks, okay, this is something I'm doing in my local community that makes impact. There are, in most areas, I would call that like a citizen science way of being engaged. There are groups who monitor the bird populations, who monitor when the first spring blossoms come out, who monitor butterfly populations. There's so many different ways that you can get involved. And I think one of the most interesting things to do is to think, what am I most interested in? What are my natural skills and talents? What are the ways in which maybe I want to engage with my family and my friends? And then that's a natural way to start doing it that already fits with who you are, rather than feeling like that there's some set way to be involved, because really there isn't. You know, there's no like right way to do it. It's just a matter of finding the way that suits you and to start doing it and get more comfortable with it. All right, I would love to hear if you have your own areas that you would like to share. You can comment below, and please like and subscribe this video. I would love also if you would share. I'm sure you know somebody who thinks, hey, I'm a little bit concerned about the environment and the natural world, but what do I do? You could say, hey, here's this great video from Rachel. She gives you tons of things to think about. All right. Thanks so much for joining in. It was a pleasure to be with you. Bye.